Hello, happy day 31. Super fun here. It's like I'm like an angel. I'm like surrounded by the light. Woo, it's fun. I like it. Special day 31 scenery. All right, so today's topic is boundaries. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Very, very, very important if you didn't realize it for your joy and for your mental health, right? If you're always doing things for other people and not taking care of your needs and always being a people pleaser and always saying yes, you're probably not feeling so great, not feeling so hot. Obviously, in the situation I'm talking about, when you don't want to do something, but you're trying to please other people and you're always doing things for other people, but you don't actually want to do them. So you need boundaries. Today's an invitation for boundaries for great mental health. Having boundaries is so important. So that way you are taking care of how you feel and not draining your energy, not feeling annoyed and frustrated and just feeling icky inside because you're doing something you don't want to do, right? That doesn't make you feel good. So it's draining your joy and it's draining your health because, when you're not feeling good, that affects your stress. It affects how you feel inside your body, both mentally and physically. So today is about boundaries, and I invite you to think about if there are any boundaries that you could set up for yourself. So examples include, if you're always pleasing others, or, if you're doing something you don't really want to do. I'm looking at my notes here. What are my other examples? Oh, a great boundary you could set up would be, around when you're responding to emails or texts, like for your business, for example. Setting up hours that you're responding to emails or texts to family or friends, having boundaries around that, right? If you need to get work done around certain hours, you could have boundaries around when you respond to either work emails or on the opposite, to emails from your loved ones in your life, so that you can be more productive and not feel annoyed if people are always, bothering you, quote unquote, or always wanting to talk to your awesome self. And have boundaries around, the time you're giving other people or things like that. And what do I want to say? Oh, yes. To add on that, in terms of boundaries around, also one of my previous videos was about airplane mode. So boundary around your sleep, how important sleep is. Sleep is so important. So a boundary you could set around sleep, having your phone on airplane mode so you're not disrupted during the night by emails or texts. And of course, as I said in that airplane mode video, if there is someone really important who you do need to hear from and answer, you can set up on your phone different ways to have that person's call come in, for example. So the reason I thought about doing this video was a story I heard this week from someone who was, being sure to respect themselves and their needs. So I'm sharing this story so you can learn from this and realize that, your needs are important. Understanding what you need and taking care of yourself will be really helpful for you to have your joy and have your mental health and your healthy lifestyle be feeling great. So the person shared how they were being asked to participate in something and they didn't feel comfortable. They felt that, this just wasn't a good time for them. They felt that emotionally they were not in a place to participate in the ask that the person B had asked person A to do. And so they set up a boundary, an important boundary from themselves, saying that, sorry, person B, this isn't a good time for me, which is great. This person, was acknowledging what they could do, they could do in that moment, what was good for them at that point in time. And it was very important because, person A, didn't want to disappoint person B, and person A wanted to, people please, quote unquote, but they loved person B and didn't want to disappoint them. But it was great. They set up a boundary saying, you know what, I'd love to help you, but right now is not the time. And which was great. They were taking care of their mental health and being sure that they were doing something they knew would be best beneficial for themselves, instead of just saying, oh yes, okay, I'll help you, person B, when really, it just wouldn't have made them feel good and it wasn't the right time for them. So I hope this story inspires you and reminds you that, doing what you need to do for yourself is very important so that you feel good and can be your best for others as well as yourself. Because if you're giving too much of yourself, if you're not having boundaries around what you can do and what you can't do, you end up feeling drained, low energy. You're going to end up, maybe being mean, quote unquote, giving some bad vibes out to others and not being your best self. So having boundaries is very important. Could you set up a boundary around, I'm trying to think of when, I gave a lot of good examples. I like my examples. I was going to try to think of more, but I'm happy with the examples that I gave. So that is my video for you today, boundaries. Be sure that you're taking care of what your needs are and not saying yes when you want to say hell no, right? So say hell yes to things. If it's not a hell yes, then, maybe it's not a good idea for you. Obviously, there's times when you help others when maybe it's not the most convenient for you and when maybe you don't want to. But of course, there's a difference between doing that and when someone's really in need or when, it's something that, is the right thing to do versus always saying yes. If you're someone who's always saying yes, think about setting up a boundary and not saying yes when it's really like a hell no or something like that. All right, so if you know anyone who would benefit and could use some guidance around boundaries, use a reminder about how important their joy and their mental health is and how important helpful boundaries could be for their healthy lifestyle. Thank you so much for sharing this video, and I hope you found this super duper helpful and that you have a tremendously fabulous, excellent, fantastic day. Sending you lots of love and joyful, healthy vibes. Sayonara.